reality, and they don't still fight because also, like I said, you guys may put up may put up Trump flags and this black and white blue stripe flag. All I see is a terrorist flag. Yes, folks, and just to let you know, United States Army, their intelligence department, are watching you guys as terrorist organizations as well. They keep track of you guys. Because what you're doing is unnatural to the Constitution and to the protection of the United States. So they keep track of you guys. Honestly, they should honestly just burst into all of your houses and shoot you up. That's what they do to black people, right? Burst into your house, shoot you up. They'll get away with it. That's what cops do every day. That's what we just saw with Rittenhouse, right? I can just run into you. I can just come to your city and shoot you up and call self-defense. I can't wait till some little black kid does that. I know it sounds bad. I can't wait till some little black kid goes to Silicon Valley and shoots that shit the fuck up, and then gets off. I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna rejoice in the streets. I'm gonna throw a fucking parade. Cause the shit that keeps happening here with these little fucktards like Rittenhouse is fucking ridiculous. Can't wait till some little black and brown kid shoots up your little fucking neighborhood. Then I want to see how the fuck you feel about it. Let's see how much support you show then. Let's see now if you be like, oh, well, Jim down the street was a pedophile, even though he hasn't been for this many years. This Jim down the street was a pedophile, and also, you know what I mean, Austin down the road, he stole a piece of candy when he was 7, and also Kimberly, you know what I mean, she got arrested for a DUI once. I want to see all of that shit when he kills them. All of it. Yeah. I know it sounds horrible, but hey, horrible is as horrible does. I can't wait till that happens. The little black and brown kids go and shoot up your nice little neighborhood. And then when they shoot up your little neighborhood, they pull up every little minor discretion that those individuals ever had. Cheated on a test in 3rd grade. Stuck bubble gum underneath their chair. Didn't wear their seatbelt in '86. I want to see all that shit popped up. All of that non-necessary bullshit that don't matter to that person taking that person's life. I want to see that. Fucking people make me sick. And if you come with any words of defense towards him, you make me sick too. I don't want to hear shit. I don't want to hear shit from you, to be honest with you. There is no defense for what he did. There is none. He left his house to go commit premeditated murder. And the fact that that was overlooked is beyond me. Get that straight. Premeditated murder. Actually, I honestly wish I can catch this little Rittenhouse kid in the streets. I can shoot him in the face my damn self. So I can get away with it. I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry. I got scared. He triggered my PTSD, so I shot him. I felt like I was threatened. Because now if I ever see him, I'm going to feel threatened. Because he shoots innocent people. Why wouldn't I feel threatened? But see, like I said, they use a lot of that same bullshit case that they used to let George Zimmerman off. So when you fuckers let George Zimmerman go, you let this motherfucker go too. Because you don't value black and brown lives. I know he shot 3 white people. But where did he shoot them at? He shot them in a protest for Black Lives Matter. He went to a Black Lives Matter protest to go kill black people. He just so happened to kill 3 white people in the midst. And they attacked him because he was a threat. But that's not what we're going to see here. That's not what we're getting here. Like I said, I can't wait. I can't wait until the tables are turned and somebody that isn't white does the same thing to some nice little white neighborhood. And let's see how the energy goes then. Let's see if they talk about, oh, we don't want to ruin this young man's life. He has the rest of his life to live. We shouldn't punish him for one little mistake. Yeah, we got little brown and black kids at 14 years old that made one little mistake. That are serving sentences like they're adults. And they didn't do adult shit like kill people. That's what I'm telling you. Yo, if you black and brown, keep your nose clean. Don't ever put yourself in a position for those goddamn pigs to put papers on you. Don't ever put yourself in a position, because you know what? The system is not built for us to come away scot-free even when we're innocent. It is always made for us to be guilty. Because again, we keep fighting for basic, what do they call? Amendment rights, but why we keep trying to go back to the amendments to try to justify how we should be treated? But guess what? The amendments were never written for us. When I say for us, I mean for people that look like me. I'm sorry, my people didn't originally come from this country. My people were here for the slavery time. We came here after this shit, and you niggas are still fucked up here in America. But this is how you allowed things to go over all the years. You made your bed, not laying it. But like I said, I can't wait till the shoe's on the other foot. I'm gonna have no sympathy whatsoever. I'm gonna have no sympathy. I don't care if they're murdering women, men, children, babies. I don't care. I'm not gonna have any sympathy. Because y'all keep letting scum like this get off. And the only thing that I keep seeing as a pattern of why individuals like that keep getting off is because they're white. Plain and simple. And this is why we do have race tensions in this country. Because everybody is not treated equally. Everybody isn't given a fair shot. He had his day in court, but it wasn't a fair day in court. The judge didn't... I'm telling you right now, they need to appeal. They need to appeal. I really hope they appeal. Because we saw this on national television, and the shit that the judge was doing was also uncalled for. The judge, they need to appeal this based off of judges' bias alone. But like I said, I can't wait. Because I see the next 16, 17-year-old black and brown kid that puts themselves in a compromising situation. What I want to hear from everybody, let's not ruin this young man's life. I want to see everything plastered of the victims, so we can paint them in a bad light to save some little black or brown kid's life. Let's see that same energy kept up. This is why when we see shit like happen in Phoenix with the Phoenix Suns, I'm over here like, nah, he don't need to keep his team. Strip him of his shit. Because for far too long, there's been far too much privilege going to a certain class of people, and they feel like they can do anything in this goddamn, they can commit any atrocity in this world and not be punished for it. Let's just make this plain and simple. There's been a class of individuals in this country that are functioning, believing that they are exempt from punishment, from the atrocities that everybody else have to abide by. I know not everybody feels like they have that privilege, but guess what? You do. Of that certain class, I know you feel like you don't have that privilege, but you do. I would like for you to go ahead and murder the same person that I murder. Or shoot up the same place that I shoot up and see what happens. We see it played out every single day. We just saw one play out in front of our eyes a while ago. Now you know why. Now you understand why black people rejoice that O.J. Simpson. He was the only black person that ever got off. I wasn't even trying to get into that shit, to be honest with you. Right? I wasn't trying to talk about the fight that's going on in this country. I was really trying to talk about the fight that's supposed to be going on this weekend, folks. This weekend we have another fight by one of the pound-for-pound best fighters in the league, in the business. Bud Terrence Crawford versus one Sean Porter. Terrence Crawford comes into this fight with an unblemished record of 37 wins, no losses, 28 of them by knockout. Taking on Sean Porter, 31 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, 17 knockouts. And now this is being deemed already the biggest fight, the biggest test in Bud Crawford's career. Bud Crawford, even though he has a record of 31-0, a lot of times has been taking a lot of slack throughout the years for being a top-ranked fighter and not fighting a lot of and not getting an opportunity to fight some of these individuals in the UBC world, right? But now, with this fight, he gets to fight somebody from that environment, Sean Porter. I got it. Like I said, they call this his biggest test right now. The biggest fight of his career. A guy that's gonna bring it to you. A guy that was a champion himself, Sean Porter. He was IBF welterweight champion in 2013, beating Devin Alexander. Lost it in 2014 to Kell Brooks. Then he took another loss in 2016 to Keith Thurman before winning his belt, before winning the WBC title back in 2018, who he will also end up losing. Wait, that's when he beat Danny Garcia, by the way. But then he will lose that belt in 2019, just a couple years ago, to Errol Spence, who basically unified those belts. Terence Crawford's been one of those individuals in the fight world. I want to say that we've probably been privileged of getting used to him for the last 5, maybe 10. I don't think it's been 10 years. Definitely within the last 5 years, we've been getting real used to him, right? Real familiar with him, and I have no pause, right, at calling him one of the pound for pound best fighters in the world. Just a couple weeks ago, we were talking about the incredible feat that Canelo Alvarez pulled off by becoming a unified champion in his weight class and being the 7th individual to do that. Well, one of the 6 individual to unify a belt or to unify a weight class is Bud Crawford, folks. This is why we've been calling him one of the pound for pound best fighters in the world. When he unified the belts, he didn't get the amount of talk or respect that Canelo Alvarez had, or the amount of coverage. No. Sorry, I just got caught on some Black Friday shit. So Bud Crawford is coming for a little bit of respect this fight. And the thing, I think he's going to fight very quickly after this too. He's going to fight today, and then he's going to fight like in December 18th or some shit like that on I think on a Teofimo Lopez fight card as well. So look out for that. "73% of people said becoming a parent was one of the most difficult phases of their life." The study shows. Well, duh. I want to know who didn't say that becoming a parent wasn't one of the most difficult. You know, it probably how the question was phrased. Because the phrase was like, "Hey, because becoming a parent one of the most difficult things you've ever done." Like, hell yeah. Shit, watching my brother become a parent is one of the most difficult things that I've ever done. Like, shit. Got me being responsible just out of, you know what I mean, just out of residual. So Bud Crawford's going to be looking for his respect out of this fight. He's already unified his weight class. He's already beaten everybody put in front of him. He has 28 knockouts. Who knows if he does the Mayweather and gets to 50? But Sean Porter is supposed to be a good test for him. He's supposed to be a guy that really pushes the action, as they like to say. You know, they say that says styles makes fight. Well, this is supposed to be a style that helps challenge his fight, Bud Crawford's fighting style. But I see it the other way around. I see it that Sean Porter has the perfect style for Terence Crawford to tee off on. For him to just pivot, move out the way, and reposition, square back up, and tag. Sean Porter, there's times when you watch him, you're watching him box, and he gets out of balance, right? He doesn't always balance with his feet. right? And if you're fighting a guy like Terrence Crawford and your feet get out of balance, you get out of position. Terrence Crawford is one of the best balanced fighters in the business. So if you come off balance, you come lunging, if you don't come squared up, if your feet are out of position, he's gonna tag you, he's gonna catch you, he's gonna slip your spot, and he's gonna make you regret it. This is kind of what I'm expecting from Terrence Crawford, from Bud Crawford, this weekend. A lot of slipping, a lot of jabbing, a lot of moving, and a lot of grooving. I'm calling this Terrence Crawford in 7, knockout. Somewhere between the 4th and 7th round, we get a Terrence Crawford knockout. But as I said, Terrence Crawford fight isn't the only combat activity that we're going to have this weekend. Right? Also, this weekend is WWE Survivor Series, folks. And I ain't gonna lie, this is one of the times I'm really happy my co-host KJ is not here to give me any kind of negative energy or bad juju as I bring up this topic today. But you know how he feels about wrestling. He's a wrestling powder. This is what I want to talk college. But okay, let me do this. Let's go ahead and text these two fools. And let's see if I can get their picks from them before the show is over in the next half an hour. Right? These assholes. Like, it's like I got two co-hosts, but I don't got two co-hosts anymore. I got two individuals that randomly pop into the show here and there. Get to my damn nerves because right, my damn nerves because I still have to prepare for them to be here, even if I'm not quite sure when they are going to be here. You see the dilemma? You see the dilemma? You see the problem that I have to go through? This shit is crazy. That shit is crazy. All right, let's see if we can get them to get their picks in. So this weekend we have also Survivor Series. So we have a big fight weekend. There's also a UFC fight that I know that I'm missing this weekend as well too. So we got boxing, we got UFC, we got WWE, we got the whole entire thing. And as you guys know, Survivor Series, right? Let me go continue. Sorry, I got distracted. You guys know Survivor Series happens to be one of WWE's 4 biggest events of the year, right? And their Survivor Series is their Thanksgiving event. They have Survivor Series, they have SummerSlam, they have WrestleMania, and what the fuck am I missing? Survivor Series, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and I am missing one. I am completely missing an event. But needless to say, Survivor Series is one of WWE's not only biggest, but one of their staple pay-per-view events. If you remember back in the day, before WWE was basically dropping a pay-per-view event every single month, they only had 3 or 4 a year. This was one of those 4. Was Survivor Series. You basically waited a couple months, and this was basically their holiday Thanksgiving show. And with this Thanksgiving show, now that you have a Smackdown brand and a Raw brand, it brings a different element now to it, where we get champions versus champions, and top of it, it's highlighted by its 5 versus 5 elimination match. But now this 5v5 elimination match, they bring 5 superstars from SmackDown and 5 superstars from Raw, and they're all going to compete for what they like to call brand supremacy. So as far as the champions go, folks, we're gonna see the SmackDown tag team champions take on the Raw tag team champions. So we're gonna get the Usos from SmackDown taking on Jimmy and Jay Uso, make up the Usos, taking on Arcade Bro. That's the team with Randy Orton and Riddle. We're also gonna see the Intercontinental Champion take on your U.S. Champion and Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Damian Priest. Shinsuke Nakamura, your Japanese superstar, taking on Damian Priest, your Puerto Rican superstar. We're gonna see the two women champions take on each other. SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair take on Raw's Women's Champion Becky Lynch. We already know that those two already have a history going back together since NXT. They were part of what we'll call the Four Horsewomen, which also was a big shout out to Charlotte Flair's father's group at one point in time, the Four Horsemen. What the fuck am I seeing?
Just pick one day out the week where you know you're gonna eat clean. You're not gonna eat anything fried. You drink your lemon water. You exercise, whether that's even just taking a light little walk.
Let's find out more from our panel. Going to use Dr. Florian Easterling.
Okay, I just saw them soon. Alright. Something else from Fox 5 News. I just saw them doing it. I saw them Styles P coming up on here. And basically they doing a little segment called hashtag Street Soldiers. That obviously is spearheaded by the one and only black dude that they have on Fox News. Well, obviously. I guess this is gonna be a semi-hip hop, segment. And he was talking about eating good, living good, and doing some kind of minimal exercise or doing something to help your body be right, even if it's only one time a week. So back to Survivor Series. Survivor Series, we're gonna have we have Charlotte Flair taking on Becky Lynch, and then we're gonna have our heavyweight champions, Roman Reigns, the head of the Bloodline, cousin to the Usos, taking on Big E. You remember Big E from groups like New Day Rocks. They're going to be taking on each other. Little prediction. Arcade Bro over the Usos. Even though I kind of think the Usos are going to... Arcade Bro over the Usos. I think Damian Priest is going to beat Shinsuke. I'm going to go Charlotte Flair over Becky Lynch. But as much as I want Big E to win, it's going to be Roman Reigns over Big E. And that takes us to our 5v5. 5v5 men, 5v5 women. And as it currently stands, for the Raw men's team, it's going to be represented by Seth Rollins. As we know, the architect, Seth freaking Rollins. Finn Balor. Kevin Owens, Austin Fury, who is a late addition, and he replaces Rey Mysterio, which is really surprising, because when they were first talking about making this team, they wanted to make this team comprised of everybody that had been a champion. Austin Fury wasn't a champion. Austin Fury has not been a champion. But that is probably more so to do with whatever recent beef that has been happening with Lashley and the Mysterios versus anything else. I wonder if the Mysterios are really injured in real life, and that's the reason why they got released from this. Now those 5 Raw superstars gonna be taking on the 5 superstars from SmackDown. The Celtic Warrior, the Scottish Warrior, Drew McIntyre. We're also going to be taking on Jeff Hardy, Happy Corbin, King Woods, and just added the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus, added to the roster. That's a lot of heavy... Now, outside of Jeff and King Woods, that's a lot of heavy hitting. Between you talking about Drew, Corbin, and Sheamus. But when we look at the other side, Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, and Seth and Finn are no joke either. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm very hard pressed. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say this is going to be an easy Raw victory. This is going to be an easy Raw victory. This is going to be a dominating, easy Raw victory. I don't know how SmackDown is going to end up competing with this one. I don't see them coming away. I don't see a victory being written into the scripts for them, to be honest with you. Because if it is, it's going to be a hell of an upset. And the guy doing the upsetting is either going to be Drew McIntyre or King Woods. Like that actually comes off real simple to me. That if they do win anything, that is going to come from one of those two individuals. And then we have the women's team. Smackdown's Bianca Belair, right? The EST of WWE, the strongest, the fastest, the roughest, the toughest, the sexiest, the ittiest, bittiest, tittiest, committiest. Sorry. Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Carmella, and also Queen Zelina, taking on Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi, Natalya, and Toni Storm, and this is where SmackDown gets their victory. So, the Raw men are going to win, but the SmackDown women are going to win. Because unless Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley just dominates the whole entire lineup, we're talking about Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Natalya, and Shotzi. I know Shotzi's just not coming up as you get Shotzi and Toni Storm as the two newcomers, but Liv Morgan, Carmella, and Queen Zelina aren't cutting it. They're probably going to be some of the first three to be eliminated. Liz Morgan is going to have a nice little run. She's going to do some unexpected things. She's probably going to get a pin on Natalya at some point, or Shayna Baszler to get super excited. Actually, you know what? She'll probably get a pin on Natalya, right before getting choked out by Shayna Baszler and getting eliminated. She's a nice story. She's cute. But unfortunately, she's worse championship material than Carmella. At least Carmella is annoyingly interesting. Liv Morgan, it's just kind of annoying right now. You need a heel turn. Like, if you're gonna be cute, you're gonna have a heel turn or some shit like that. Like, it ain't cutting it. It ain't cutting it. It ain't cutting it. But you know what we're about to do, folks? We're about to go ahead and leave the WWE world, and we're about to get into some more body-on-body action, some more chest bumping, some more men moving men. Pause. Let's get into some football, folks. Let's go ahead and start going around the league a little bit. Can I get some music for my football picks this week? If you don't mind, kind sir. Thank you. Thank you, dearly. Okay, folks, so let's see if... Nope, still nothing from the two co-hosts. So if they don't get their picks in before this show is over, then they just won't have any picks in here. Because what we do here is for content. It makes no sense for me, right? Or it doesn't benefit me any if they send me if they send me the picks after the show is over. It's all about context and content. Like we don't do this just for hey, let's see who's right. Like, no, it's for content. What's wrong with these guys? These fucking guys. I don't know what's wrong with these guys. So let's go ahead and go around the league. Wait, did I get where's my music at? Oh shit. That must be that Jay-Z song. What's crazy, I didn't even get a chance to talk about Curry cooking and the Golden State Warriors still being one of the best teams in the league. That shit's still ridiculous to me. But let's go ahead and go around the league, right? We already saw this game with the New England Patriots and the Atlanta Falcons, right? And folks, don't you get it twisted for one reason. For once, the second was where they thought I was going to pick the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not going to be able to do it. Not going to lie, this week is a little bit more difficult if you're looking for winners more than anything else. So let's go ahead and give you a couple of my picks for this week. As you guys already knew, I picked New England to go ahead and beat Atlanta, so I went with the away team there. As we have New Orleans going in to go ahead and play Philly. New Orleans is still having their problems. They have no quarterback. They have no Mike Thomas. Alvin Kamara, who knows how much more that he can do. This team is kind of struggling. I'm not quite sure how they're going to continue to put things together. But Philly is actually looking like a half-decent team these days. As you guys know, Philly was my early team to go ahead and... Let's rephrase that. Once we found out the odds, Philly became my favorite to win the NFC East. Also because one of the co-hosts on this show decided to put some money on here. But the Philadelphia Eagles, they've been looking pretty okay. Jalen Hurts is 100% looking like an NFL quarterback. Shout out to me for constantly taking up for him, because we've been taking up for Jalen Hurts on this podcast since like day one. So we're gonna settle in here. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pick the Philadelphia Eagles to go ahead and beat the New Orleans Saints. Now next up we have the Miami Dolphins taking on the New York Jets as they fly into New York, and I'm gonna tell you this: the New York Jets have decided to start Joe Flacco this week, and this is how I know that they just want to win. They just want to win, no matter what. Because it makes no sense whatsoever for them to want to play Joe Flacco. Playing Joe Flacco doesn't help you evaluate your rookie quarterback or your backup quarterback scenario. Not quite sure why you're running for Mac Jones. Not Mac Jones, but Mike White. Not quite sure why. Because when you played him against Buffalo last week, you played him against Buffalo with the expectation that it may look bad. You played him against Buffalo knowing that you wanted to protect your rookie quarterback. Well, now this ain't Buffalo anymore. This is the Miami Dolphins. This is a team giving up 25 points a game. So why not start Mac Jones? Why not see if he can give us some of that energy that he gave us 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? Starting Joe Flacco. So this student Joe Flacco, you know what you better do, Joseph Flacco? You better win. The Miami Dolphins aren't that much better than you, and they were expected to be. Miami Dolphins at least were expected to have a defense. We just had a defensive coordinator that turned head coach. So I'm going Jets over Miami, folks. Go ahead and take that one, and we'll see how that works. Now, after that, we have Carolina taking on Washington, folks. Again, I'm going to stick with the home team as Cam Newton is currently... Actually, you know what? I'm not going to tell you this. I'll let Cam Newton explain to you exactly what's happening right now. Cam Newton is back, and he's officially going to be starting this game in Carolina as they play the Washington Team Football, or WTF, or the Washington whatchamacallits. And I got no reason to go against Cam as he comes back in his first game to start. Back with the Carolina Panthers. is back in Carolina. He's going to be hyped. What should we expect? At least one passing touchdown and one rushing touchdown from Cam Newton. And what I no longer would like to hear is any more Cam Newton slander. As long as Matt Ryan holds up a job in Atlanta and continues to fail consistently. So I'm taking Carolina over Washington. And folks, to stick with my home team theme, I'm also going to do the same thing with Buffalo over Indiana. And we know that Jonathan Taylor is one of the baddest running backs in the game. Alright, that's my cousin. I need to go ahead and try to get him on the show. Like, we all know that my cousin is one of the best running backs in the game. Pseudo cousin. But I don't expect them to beat Buffalo. I understand that. Actually, I don't understand shit. I don't understand any reason why Buffalo should lose this game to Indiana. I know they have a good. I know Indiana has a proper and good defense. They have a good running game, and that's a really great formula for success. But we're not just looking for success. We're looking to be dynamic. We're looking to win Super Bowls. We're looking to make the we're looking to be championship contenders, and that's what Buffalo is. I don't expect Buffalo to come in here and have another bad week to go out and take any kind of bad losses. They should pick right. Well, we know that they paid the Jets last week, but they should go ahead and ride that momentum. I got Buffalo over Indy easy, not easy, but I'm confident. What's going on, J-Lo? Now, believe it or not, one of the games that really bothered me the most was probably this Cleveland versus Detroit game. Oh shit! Oh, these are back up. Baker Mayfield. Carson Wentz. Like, I'm sorry. Oh my God. Now, I am gonna I'm not gonna joke around too much here. I'm gonna pick Cleveland only because
Cleveland. This is for you.
Cleveland has the better everything else. Better defense, better run game, better continuity, and even, dare I say, even though I don't think he's playing. I don't think Baker Mayfield has played in this game. I didn't double check his status before I came on the podcast, and that's only because I'm not really trying to check his status until we get to Sunday morning. To be honest with you, to be fully honest with you. And that's really only going to be for fantasy football purposes. So for Baker Mayfield status, hold on, DJ MyT, stop that for a second. For fantasy football purposes,
the MyT fantasy football tips, not winning tips, just tips. Just the tip. Just the tip. Just the tip.
Let's just say what I want involves much more than just the tips. Just the tips. What I want is much more than just the tips.
Yeah, so Baker Mayfield, we're gonna still keep. I would say if you have Baker Mayfield, whether you're talking about fantasy or you're just trying to figure out on who to pick, keep an eye on Baker Mayfield's injury status. Right, to see how this team goes. But if you have guys like Nick Chubb, I think Nick Chubb's supposed to be coming back as well. So look for his status as well. Look for everybody on Cleveland status before you get any of them in your starting lineup. Everybody's up for questions, but Cleveland still should beat Detroit. I'm sorry, Detroit to me. We got our first caller calling on the Blue Chew in the Blue Chew Get In hotline. What's going on, J-Lo? Let's go ahead and get in. Apparently, you have a question for us. And it's okay for you guys to call in. That's why we have podbean for. What's going on, J-Lo? You have a question for the Mighty Sports Podcast?
Hey man, you're right on track with the whole narrative. You're preaching. Keep preaching. Keep going.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I definitely do appreciate that. I'm sorry, you coming in and out. Say that again.
Yeah, you got it. I'm with you with the whole Baker Mayfield thing.
Who's your football team, J-Lo?
Dallas, but
Ooh.
I don't want to divert from what you're doing right now. So.
So we will get to Dallas. Thank you. Don't worry, we will get to Dallas. Dallas is coming up.
Yep.
So I would stick with Cleveland over Detroit. I just don't have enough faith in Detroit. I don't care how many ankles they bite, how many kneecaps they rip off, how many surgeries they do. You know what I mean? How many times their coach cries, or how many times he calls out their quarterback. I hate to say this as a Jets fan, because sometimes teams don't get the benefit of the doubt because of their history. But I'm sorry, Detroit. Detroit's just one of those teams. It's hard for me to give them the benefit of the doubt right now. I don't know where they're going to put it. They're going to have to prove it to me. Detroit is going to have to prove it to me that they can win this game. They're going to have to prove it. And believe me, I have a whole lot more faith in Jacksonville over San Fran than I do over Detroit over Cleveland. Which is really weird for me to say, because Jacksonville has been a shit show, I feel like, this whole entire year. But I have more faith in them over San Fran than I do Detroit over Cleveland. Now, does that mean I'm going to pick Jacksonville over San Fran? Hell no. I just have more faith in them. I just have more faith in whatever shit show is going on in the upper panhandle of Florida versus whatever the fuck is going on in Detroit basketball or Detroit football, whatever the fuck is going on in D-Town. Because whatever the hell is going on in D-Town sounds like they need some Blue Chew, because their D sounds weak. I'm going San Francisco over Jacksonville. It's one of those things. Jimmy G is a low-key winner. And that's the weird thing about Jimmy Garoppolo, right? Is that you don't have a lot of faith in him but to win. And maybe that's the only thing that you need to have faith in. Is that, you know what? I don't know how you're going to get it done. I just have a faith that against Jacksonville, you'll get it done. Against teams like Houston, you'll get it done. Vegas, maybe you'll get it done. Minnesota, you should get it done. Division rivals? Well, when that crazy shit hits the fan, like it did last week, you get it done. Now, is there going to be a fall off from last week from them beating the Rams? There may be, but is it enough of a fall off to fear against Jacksonville? Because this still is Jacksonville. Jacksonville, rookie quarterback, run game is good, not great, could be better. Head coach, he's still on his learning curve. I feel like that's the nicest way to describe whatever the fuck Urban Myers is going through, right? Is that he's going through a learning curve. Cause
yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm tired. From a outlooker looking in, I'm tired of the whole learning curve with Urban Meyer too, man.
Yeah, right.
I'm with you on that.
Like I can really, because you can shit on him, or we can shit on him on the show, but I'm gonna be nice and call it a learning curve. It's a hell of a learning curve for somebody that's been. Like, I know you haven't coached the NFL for long, but you've been in football long enough to at least be an earshot to hear how people talk about how NFL life is. But I'm not expecting from Jacksonville what I expect out of Arizona. San Francisco takes this game. And then we have Tennessee. Tennessee is taking on Houston, and as we all know, Houston doesn't want to win games. Like, I don't even have to justify this with real verbiage. Houston is not a team that anybody should ever pick them to win a game. Even with a team missing their starting running back, but even with Tennessee missing their starting running back, it hasn't mattered. They've basically been trucking along the same exact way. They throw Adrian and oh God. Can I just say how happy I am to see Adrian Peterson back in the league? And the reason why I'm happy for it because even as far last year, I started saying this, and that was that I really want to see Adrian Peterson take on the Frank Gore role, where if he's not going to be a significant factor in the league, I'm just hoping enough teams just keep him on the roster. For him to just keep getting like 500 yards a year. You know, just keep getting a couple yards, couple more yards. I just want to see that from him because I think that Adrian Peterson can do that. We started talking about that last year. And apparently the Tennessee Titans thought the same exact thing the moment that Derrick Henry got injured. Like, you know what?
Man, you said the same thing I was thinking was that Frank Gore role.
Yeah. That's what I wanted from Adrian Peterson. That Frank Gore role. Even though Frank Gore is about to have a boxing... When's his boxing match? December 18th. He's about, as he gets ready to knock out Devin Williams, former Utah Jazz and Brooklyn Nets player.
Yep.
Right? But I want... That's the role I want for Adrian Peterson. If you can give that role to Frank Gore over all these years, why can't you give it to AD? AD deserves that, and that's why I'm really happy to see him in Tennessee, and to see him just get it. That first game he got that touchdown, I caught goosebumps. I was just happy to see it. Him getting a touchdown a couple weeks ago gave me goosebumps. Cam Newton getting a touchdown last week gave me goosebumps. I'm waiting for my goosebump moment this week. I already know what the game of the week is this week. As we got a fan of one of their teams. Exactly. We already got that game. We already got that game of the week looming around this week. But I don't know where I'm going to get my goosebump moment from this week. But I'm telling you, Cam Newton and Adrian Peterson this year, to see them come back into the league and do what they've done, I just score. I know it's early on there for them to do much, but just to see them score early on, completely happy for both of their returns. And then we get the bad man, Aaron Rodgers, aka the new public enemy number 1, taking on Minnesota. I'm gonna tell you guys this. You pick Green Bay, but don't be surprised if Minnesota wins. Division games, right? They're one hell of a drug. Division games. Division rivalries and division games are one hell of a drug. Go back to last week. Just go back to Monday Night Football last week, San Francisco versus LA Rams. Division games is one hell of a ride. Just think of the best psychedelic that you've ever been on, and it doesn't compare to what kind of ride you're going to be on watching division games in the NFL season. The safe bet is on Green Bay to continue with this role, as they found something else to galvanize this team around, and for ownership to actually be a part of this galvanization. But don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if that weird cousin that you have comes through and fucks up the cookout. Because that's exactly who Kirk Cousins is. He's been that guy his whole entire career. He has been the guy that fucks up the cookout. He fucked up the cookout for RG3, and then he fucked up the cookout when he talked about quarterbacks getting paid, and he's one of the few guys that have to have one of the biggest guaranteed contracts that everybody looks like, this guy gets money? So don't be surprised if this cousin comes out and fucks up the cookout again. Aaron Rodgers over here thinking shit is all cool, cooking up steaks for the whole entire team, not wearing his mask. And what does Kirk Cousins come and do? Flips the goddamn barbecue grill. Goes inside the living room, turns to your white couch, puts his feet all over your couch and says, fuck your couch. Now, am I saying I'm picking this or no? I'm going to say don't be surprised. Leave it in the back of your head. It's not such a foregone conclusion than you may think it is. And that's only because it's a division rivalry game.
I'm with you. Can that be our Uncle Cookout or Uncle Kirk Cousin Cookout?
Can you be part of the cookout? Yeah, you can be part of the cookout. Oh man, Kirk Cousins is really that guy. He's a weird and he's one of those outlier of a quarterbacks when it comes to stability or pay or whatever you want to call it. He's the Dana. For the wrestling fans out there, he's the Dana Brooks of football.
He kind of shows up. It's like, oh, Uncle Kurt, no.
Oh man, like, oh, here he goes again. Ah shit. Who gave him the whiskey? Who gave him the whiskey? Like, God damn it. She says, shit. You're responsible for him. Just let you know, you're responsible for him. Like, that's Kirk Cousins. He just comes in and fucks up the church's money. Every once in a while, he just fucks up the church's money. I'm not expecting the church's money to be fucked up when Baltimore takes on Chicago in Chicago. Chicago is another one of those just fuck up of a franchises lately. They're in the Jets, Giants category, Houston category. We have Chicago. Yes, you just don't know what the fuck they're doing. And every time they do something, it looks backwards. Like, oh, we're going to play the quarterback, but we're not going to play the quarterback, but we should play the quarterback, and everybody knew you should have played the quarterback, but you don't. But you did. I'm not afraid of Chicago. You know what I have been saying. And it's okay for me to be wrong 3 to 5 times a year. I'm okay with that. But for no reason am I ever going to bet against, not for any reason, very rarely am I going to bet against Lamar Jackson in a regular season. But wait 1 minute. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that we should have an update here for you guys, because Lamar Jackson may be out and miss this game to a non-COVID related or I don't know if I'm calling it injury or illness. There we go. That's the proper word for it. If I am not mistaken, let's go ahead and pull up the Google machine real quick. If I'm not mistaken, the last thing I heard about Lamar Jackson is that he may be out this week. Baltimore Lamar Jackson is feeling great. He will. Oh, never mind. 7 hours ago. It has been updated. He's feeling great and he will start. This is why we tell you, folks. You have to be up on your fantasy football. I thought I was gonna have to give you an injury report. Nope, not an injury report at all. He is fine and he is dandy. But we have again
MyT fantasy football tips, not winning tips, just tips. Just the tip. Just the tip. Just the tip.
Let's just say what I want involves much more than just the tips. Just the tips. What I want is much more than just the tips.
So Lamar Jackson, he is still fine. He's gonna play. Fantasy football tips. Make sure you have him in your lineup. Because if you've been watching and keeping track of his injury report, there was rumors that he may have missed this game due to a non-COVID related illness. But as we can see, just read the headline from 7-8 hours ago, he is feeling great and he is scheduled to start against Chicago. So as I say again, I'm gonna go back to my original statement. I have no reason whatsoever to bet against Lamar Jackson in the regular season. Lamar Jackson right now, if you need a comparison, and don't go too deep in the comparison. I understand what I'm saying here. I don't go against him in the regular season. To me, Lamar Jackson is a modern day Peyton Manning. If you understand that connection. In the regular season, I have no reason to bet against him. In the regular season, he has been as dominant can be. When we get to the playoffs, I'm gonna sing a completely different tune. You understand? In the playoffs, I am not Talent Omar Taylor. I am Tony Baritone. I am singing a completely different tune about Lamar Jackson. We're gonna see each matchup. A big part of me would love to see Lamar Jackson win a chip before his style of play becomes less dominant. I would love to see him get a chip. But if ifs were wish, if wishes were fifths, how did that saying go? If wishes were fifths, we'll all be drunk. But in this game against Chicago, I'm going full Baltimore. I am going full purple birds. I don't think anybody calls them the purple birds, but we're going full purple birds. Chicago, you didn't even have a chance, nevermore. And now we move into the afternoon games, right? We get Cincinnati versus Las Vegas. Las Vegas has been a very interesting team since the firing of John Gruden. When the rumors came out about John Gruden and he was still there, the team looked abysmal. They couldn't focus. They couldn't rally around him. They didn't know how to play. Remove John Gruden. Now this team has had something to rally around for the past couple of weeks. But can I tell you how much of a fan I am of Smoking Joe Burrow and what he has been doing with the Cincinnati Bengals this year? I don't think they get enough talk sometimes for how for how well Cincinnati has looked this year. Now, this is a tough division, right? And this always has been a tough division. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Cleveland. Do you understand that not one team in this division has a losing record? That's how AFC East, 2 losing records. AFC South, 2 losing records. AFC West, one of the few that also has none. NFC East, 2 losing. NFC North, 3 losing records. NFC South, 1, the Atlanta Falcons. And NFC West, 2 losing records. So you see here, it's not very often you have a division that has 3, much less 4 teams this late into the season that has 4 winning records. And they're all tough. I don't know if Cincinnati makes it to the playoffs, makes it to the play-in, or makes it whatever. We're talking about 2 teams battling each other at 5-4. I'm going to go with Cincinnati. I know Las Vegas is at home. Las Vegas probably should rally around their home team. Should feed off some of that energy. But Joe Burrow has a really big I don't give a fuck factor about him. And I don't know if you guys see what I'm talking about. He has a real big I don't give a fuck about you or anything that you do factor about him. I didn't expect him to be this good this soon. I didn't expect him to be this look this good already this early in his career. But that also goes to show you, for all of these other guys that reach for quarterbacks, right, or are wondering about their quarterbacks going all the way into year 3, year 4, Baker Mayfield. You see the talent early. I mean, like, you really see their effect early. Now, I know Baker Mayfield, he's a weird individual to want to throw under the bus, right? Because Cleveland was disgruntled or dysfunctional for so long that he actually came in there and provided stability, actual stability to the franchise and at that quarterback position. He still provided stability when they had guys like Freddie Kitchens coming in and fucking up the joint, stinking up the joint. But you can't tell me that you don't see more talent and more command, more skill, more promise from Joe Burrow in year 2 than you saw from Baker Mayfield in year 2. Like we saw Baker Mayfield had to be humble. I'm seeing Joe Burrow out here playing pissed off. And that intrigues me. Like, how do you play this mad at such a young age? Like, you're just offended by everything in the National Football League. I'm going to give Cincinnati the bid here. I'm going to give them the nod. And also, actually, you know what? I'll come back to that. I'm going to give them the bid. I'm going to give them the nod. Las Vegas is on a 2-game losing streak. They're at home. They should bounce back. I'm going to look at Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals team as if, you know what, they see that and they're going to say, you know what, we still don't give a fuck. We're coming to take you. We're coming to take this dub. You're going to be 5-5 and we're going to be 6-4. I'm going Cincy. Which is really crazy, right? How for the first 8 games, I went super home. And now these last 6-7 games, I may be going super away. Next game we have Arizona Cardinals taking on the Seattle Seahawks. And I'm going to tell you right now, without Kyler Murray, or let's say this a different way. If Kyler Murray was playing in this game, I'll be picking Arizona. And that's as plain and simple as I can say this. Whether Wilson was coming off an injury or not, Russell Wilson could be playing all year. And I probably would have still picked Arizona. If they both would have been playing all year, I would have been picked Arizona. So, Arizona doesn't have Kyler Murray. Russell Wilson, he was out for a couple of games. What's going on, old man? He was out for a couple of games. He fucked up his finger. He came out and played last week, first game back. Wasn't quite there. Green Bay got shut out by Green Bay. Got shut out by Green Bay. They're not taking 2 L's back to back. With Russell Wilson just now coming back, and also with Kyler Murray not being in that starting lineup. Seattle, I expect Russell Wilson to come back and have a good game. I expect him to have a bounce back game. I expect him to come up with this W. I'm going Seattle. Now, I am a little disappointed because if Kyler Murray was playing this game, and so was Russell Wilson, especially if both of them had been healthy all season, this probably would have been the game of the week to me. But unfortunately, this is not the game of the week. The game of the week is going to be the 6-4 Kansas City Chiefs that look like they're getting their shit back together, playing complimentary football, short ball, middle ball, intermediate ball, long ball, run game, defense. Taking on the 7-2 Dallas Cowboys, folks. Dallas Cowboy team that's trying to keep pace with 8-2 Green Bay Packers, the 6-3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the 8-2 Arizona Cardinals. And might I also add the 7-3 LA Rams? They're trying to keep pace with them. Now, this is where I really wish I had my co-host here. At least Mark. The Dallas Cowboy fan that he is. The Kansas City Chiefs are at home. This is a prove-it game for both teams. Both teams are trying to hold on. I told you all the teams that the Dallas Cowboys are trying to keep pace with, but the Kansas City Chiefs don't want to lose their position either. They have the LA Chargers breathing right down their back. Kansas City Chiefs are 6-4. LA Chargers are 5-4. LA Raiders are 5-4. Denver Broncos are 5-5. Being led behind Steady Teddy Bridgewater. So if the Chargers beat Pittsburgh, which they very much can do, I'm not picking them to, but they very much can beat Pittsburgh. And if the Kansas City Chiefs fall to the Dallas Cowboys, they can start slipping in their position, and then let the Las Vegas Raiders beat Cincinnati. Denver Broncos are on a bye week, so they can't come away with a victory here this week. But we're talking about a 3-way tie. Kansas City's gonna fall to 6-5. The Chargers can improve. Sorry, not even a 3-way tie. Chargers can improve to 6-4, while the Raiders can improve to 6-4, and then let the Broncos come back and win next week. And we're talking about them being 6-5, while Kansas City Chiefs have a bye week, and Denver's over here taking on the LA Chargers as they're both battling for position on you. Kansas City Chiefs have just as much to gain and lose out of this game as the Dallas Cowboys do. Both of these teams are trying to keep pace, not only for the Kansas City Chiefs in their division as well as their conference. Like I said, we have the Buffalo Bills at 6-3, the New England Patriots at 7-4. New England Patriots have won 5 straight games. We got the Baltimore Ravens at 6-3, Pittsburgh Steelers at 5-3. Cincinnati Bengals at 5-4. Cleveland Browns at 5-5. Remember, because basically, the reason why I bring all of those teams is because if the Kansas City Chiefs don't win the division, you're talking about a playing game. Tennessee Titans 8-2. Indianapolis Colts 5-5. And then, as we told you, Chiefs 6-4. Chargers 5-4. Raiders 5-4. Broncos 5-5. You can't afford to fall. And neither can the Dallas Cowboys. Neither one of them can afford to fall. I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. I know the Dallas Cowboys are coming off, they look like they just came with a nice little bounce back W, but they still need, you know what? Let's not say they need more of anything. Dallas Cowboys just need to win. They just need to prove that they can beat a team like the Kansas City Chiefs. As crazy as the NFL is, this could possibly be one of our Super Bowl scenarios. Am I saying that these two teams are going to make it to the Super Bowl? No. This could be one of the many Super Bowl scenarios that we could possibly have out. Is the Kansas City Chiefs playing the Dallas Cowboys? Let's see what Big D does. Let's see if Kansas City has figure their shit out, can get their 4th straight W. Let's see if they play all Rams. Remember, Dallas's defense is proper. I don't like to say this often because I've been trolling some of my fans and Dallas fans more than anything else, right? But we said this in the beginning of the season. This is Dallas's division to lose. What's going on, Goods? I definitely did say Dallas. This is Dallas's division to lose. We said this in the beginning of the season. So for Dallas, like most teams that play Kansas City, this is a measuring stick game all day long. While for Kansas City, this is can we continue to stay pace and maintain our winning ways and our winning culture and get back to what they thought we were. For Dallas, this is a measuring stick game. Can you beat one of the teams that not only won a recent Super Bowl, but are still a Super Bowl favorite coming into this year? How will you measure up? Like, will you be the big D that you say that you are? Or will you need to use my Blue Chew promo code FIMH to be able to keep yourself up? What's going on, SB? You got SB calling in. What's going on? Let's get on. As you guys already know, the Blue Chew Get In hotline is officially open. Let's go ahead and send a couple of invites to get you guys in here. See what you guys think about what I'm basically calling the game of the week. Now, I'm going Kansas City. I'm making them, as you guys know, that we give points to 3 games. 1 morning game, 1 afternoon game, and then the Monday night game. I'm gonna give this Kansas City game over Dallas my 1 point. It's my 1 point pick. That's how confident I am about it. Which basically means I'm not very confident at all. And I did not know that Diane from The Good Housewife was also in The Big Bang Theory. I'm telling you, if you guys have not watched the Good Wife or The Good Fight, that show is star-studded. I mean, fucking star. I feel like every 3 shows they bring in some fucking famous face. Go watch The Good Fight or The Good Wife, or as I like to call it, The Real House Lawyers of Chicago. But it's a good show.
Wife, good life, good burger.
Yeah. How's it going on, SB? How you doing today?
I'm good, man. Sorry I'm late. I just got home from work.
No apologies needed. You know, like Ja Rule said, you might not always be there when I call, but you're always on time. As long as you're here, you're on time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But we've just gotten to we've crossed over most of the games already. We've gotten to this Dallas and Kansas City game, basically my game of the week. And I was admitting my true feelings about Dallas, because I haven't admitted my true feelings about the Dallas Cowboys a lot this year, right? I basically trolled a lot of that, because my co-host is a Dallas Cowboys fan. I have to troll him a little bit, right? So I've trolled a lot of Dallas fans, but I didn't start trolling Dallas fans until I heard what the spread was on the Philadelphia Eagles winning the division, and then my other co-host KJ bet on it, and in the moment he put money on it, it converted my whole entire energy to be like, you know what? I'm gonna be rooting for Philly now. So we root for Philly because, and also I love me some Jalen Hurts, and I do enjoy what I'm seeing from Jalen Hurts this year. Right?
He's proven the doubters wrong the last couple weeks. He's looked good. He
has, and I know. Put it this way, I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm still being proven right. From the moment they were drafted. Actually, put it this way: from the moment the draft happened, I've been telling people I did not believe that that Tua got a tongue twister should be drafted higher than Jalen Hurts. I did not believe it whatsoever. After they were drafted, I said that Jalen Hurts would have a better career than Tua got a tongue twister. I know it's still early. I still believe so. One of the major things that I've told, and it's for one simple
Herbert was
reason.
in that draft too, right?
Yeah, they both. I think they both were they were in the same draft.
Yeah.
I think they, yeah. One of the major things that I told people, right? It isn't about numbers or fancy analysis or anything else like that. What I saw was a guy that played in Alabama, got benched, then got started. Got benched in one of the biggest moments, right? Then lost his job, then came back in the biggest moment and helped out. You understand? Like, had a lot of back and forth on his own team. Then switched teams, went and learned a whole completely different system, and was just as productive as the guy that took his job, technically. That right there, that turmoil, that confusion, that struggle in college, that's basically what a lot of rookie quarterbacks or a lot of young quarterbacks go through their first 4 or 5 years of the league. And if he's already having that in college, that means he's a little bit more prepared for the league than most other quarterbacks were. This was my thought process. I'm just letting you behind the scenes of why I've always believed that Jalen Hurts was going to be a better quarterback than Tua got a tongue twister. It's because I thought he was more mentally prepared for what may come about. We know the history of the Miami Dolphins. Is it beyond the realm of possibility that the Miami Dolphins may have 3 head coaches and 5 offensive coordinators in the next 5 years? Based off how they've maneuvered in the past? No, it's not. But
someone said recently, I wish I had the exact numbers in front of me, but someone was talking about Trevor Lawrence, and they were saying quarterbacks that go through their whole high school and college career without losing tend to fail in the NFL because they can't handle it.
Hey, it becomes tough for a lot of them. Damn, we only got 10 minutes left in the podcast. Shit.
If you lose 5 games of your whole high school and college career, then you by default go to the worst team in the NFL to start your career. You're going to lose.
Yeah. And you have to learn how to lose, and you have to learn turmoil, and you have to learn how to be uncomfortable. Which if you're a successful person, one of the keys to success is getting real comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I thought Jalen Hurts got real comfortable being uncomfortable early. You got benched for some guy that you end up having to save eventually, just a year later, and then you go to a whole nother team, and then I thought he was a little bit more. And again, think about how Philly is. Is it beyond the realm of possibility to feel that Philly may have 3 head coaches and 5 offensive coordinators in the next 5 years? I know these numbers may seem high. I'm just saying, turnaround in head coach and offensive coordinator position may be high for both those teams, Miami and Philly. Who's a little bit more better prepared to handle that shit? Jalen Hurts.
Miami for sure.
Because he already had to do it. You're right. Like Miami, because I watch Miami enough. So, am I gonna be surprised at any point in time when Jalen Hurts does better than Tua? No. I'm rooting. I am low key rooting for Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts may be, out of all of the quarterbacks that were coming out that draft class, he may have been the one I was rooting for the most. And why the fuck was I here? Dallas. And that's kind of the reason why we went. That's why I was explaining to you guys why I decided to go with why I even was rooting for Philly to begin with. But ultimately, this is Dallas's division to lose. Dallas, this is going to be a measuring stick game, and Dallas is going to try to see how do they measure up against Kansas City during a time frame where Kansas City has been looking pretty hot again. So, Dallas fans.
I might be a little worried. Plus, I just heard that most of our receivers, if not all, are on the COVID list.
Ooh. Well, as you guys know, that's something to watch out for. And and if you have to watch out for injuries or players' availability, that means it's directly related to
the MyT Fantasy Football Tips. Not winning tips, just tips.
Just the tip?
Just the tip. Just the tip.
Let's just say what I want involves much more than just the tips. Just the tips. What I want is much more than just the tips.
Boy, you and these sound bites.
Sounds like a Blue Chew ad.
it is a low-key Blue Chew ad. Remember Blue Chew code F-I-M-A. Listen, the sound bites is the best part of it.
I love the Chiefs tomorrow too.
Who or what?
I love the Chiefs tomorrow too. Hungry dogs run faster. Chiefs are in a dog fight in their division somehow that was not expected. Cowboys are pretty much in the driver's seat. Hungry dog runs faster. Chiefs need it way more than the Cowboys do.
I'm going Chiefs. Like I said, I'm picking. As you guys know, we do a 3-2-1 thing, where we give like 3 games a score. I'm picking Kansas City, but I'm only giving them my 1 point. And the only reason I'm even picking Kansas City from the evening games is only because one of my co-hosts happened to be a Dallas fan, and I want to troll him a little bit. And I know he's gonna be picking Dallas. And if he doesn't pick Dallas, I know that I can peer pressure him into picking Dallas. So I know that's gonna happen. All right. So after Kansas City and Baltimore and Dallas, we also have Pittsburgh taking on the Chargers. Not the Chargers that we grew up being, the San Diego Superchargers.
Superchargers.
I so miss that. We can't like the Los Angeles. I don't even flow right. LA Super. Ah, damn it. They have to find something to do about that. I really miss the Superchargers. They need a new jingle. Somebody out there make them a new jingle.
Aren't they moving soon too? You have to make a whole new one. They're going to move in a couple of years.
Where are they moving back to? Where are they moving to?
They're a new museum. It's not. It's not Stockton, but it's somewhere close, I think.
Okay, so they're gonna stay in LA though.
Yeah, in the general vicinity.
Okay. I thought they was jumping ship. I next thing you know, I thought we was about to have a team in Hawaii or some shit.
They got to do something. We both know that, or we all know that that's going to be a home game for the Steelers tomorrow night.
Let's see, playing a team in LA, Pittsburgh. Their steel curtain travels firm. See, this is one of those games. This is probably one of the hardest games I wanted to pick, to be honest with you. Because I don't know. Put it this way. Can I say that the LA Chargers have Big Ben of the past. It's like old Big Ben going against new Big Ben. It's like the old Kanye versus the new Kanye. And I'm not a fan of new Kanye. Or the old Kanye. Wait, the new I don't know if I can trust Big Ben anymore. I'm confusing myself. I don't know if I can trust Big Ben. And that's what it is. And I'm a fan of Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
It's like graduation Big Ben.
And so I'm stuck here. I don't doubt Mike Tomlin because I know he's a hell of a coach. He doesn't coach losing teams, period. Throughout the year, that is. But man, these three, Arizona, Seattle, if Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson was playing, was one game I really wanted to see. Dallas, Kansas City was going to be another game I really wanted to see. Pittsburgh and LA is another game I really want to see this week. Because to me, it is like watching Ben of the past versus Ben of current. Like, which one is going to last? I'm going to go Chargers only because they're traveling across country. And he's old. And I don't know if I can trust him. Big Ben, that is. I can trust everything else around Big Ben.
Right.
I can't trust Big Ben anymore. I can trust the head coach. I can trust the organization. I can trust their fans. Shit, I can even trust the women that they sleep with to keep their mouth shut for the married people. You understand? I just can't trust Ben.
I'm telling you, man. Let's say, and Pittsburgh's my second team, man. I think Ben should have retired a couple years ago, man.
Shit. I can trust Kyle Rittenhouse to go and kill 2 more people and get off. I just can't trust Ben.
He's been done, man. Look, Ben, just retire, man. Like, you know, you're gonna go down as one of the greats, man.
And we respect Ben. Thank you. Like, we respect the fuck out of Ben. Like, cause my co-host,
right?
Because if my co-host heard me saying this, I trigger him a lot. I know I've pushed all his, but I've given everybody around me PTSD with some of the shit that I say. That they automatically think I'm taking shots at people, but I'm not. Like, I love me some Big Ben. I just don't know how much he has left.
We don't, right. Just like I was talking about Matt Ryan today. I was like, man, Matt Ryan might be another one.
Oh, listen.
Steelers lose a close one, and Ben's going to go on about, I took a lot. I came back from COVID, almost pulled it out.
Yeah, listen. Matt Ryan's been on my short list for a while. Like, he has been on my short list for a real long time.
Yeah.
But I looked at him.
He's been on mine for a couple years now.
And listen, I'm going to tell you why. He became, as you guys know, he became on my short list the moment every bad game that Cam Newton had, they would call him for his job. I was like, but wait a minute, why ain't y'all calling for Matt Ryan? And then I had to start looking into him. And I'd be like, yo, Matt Ryan, Hall of Fame receivers, his whole entire career. You name me one weapon that Cam Newton had that had Hall of Fame on it in their prime. I'm just saying. So Kansas City, I'm doing my one. We got Tampa Bay taking on the New York Giants tomorrow on Monday night. I'm making them my 3 pick. I hate to go against my Giants, but Tampa Bay's gonna run right over them. I gave Baltimore my number 2, my 2-point pick. 3 games I'm gonna be watching closely: Pittsburgh, LA, Dallas, Kansas City, Arizona, Seattle. Folks, SB Goods, just to let you know, we're about to go into bonus material mode because.
Sorry, B. I tried. Honest. All the bandwidth in the world.
Bonus reel.
No lag. Gonna share my talents with Podbean Live. Always knew I'd take the pod there.
You know what?
Later.
Let's go ahead and pump the brakes on that. Let's go into our bonus material now, right? Because we had SB and Goods join us late, right? Let's let you guys know this is going to be pure bonus material only. This is only going to be heard live on the Podbean app, or if you're watching us on YouTube, this will be on the YouTube feed as well. But this won't be on the regular audio that you can normally catch on Spotify, on Pandora, on iTunes, or Google Play, or wherever you normally listen to your podcast at. Strictly bonus material time. What do you guys want to get into? Because this is not only do we have big football games this weekend. If you're a wrestling fan, we got Survivor Series coming up. If you're a UFC fan, we got a UFC fight coming up. If you're a boxing fan, we got a boxing match coming up. Like, yo, we got it all. And Stephen Curry is still cooking up that sauce. He's cooking that same sauce, eh? Like, I am convinced right now that Stephen Curry could sleep with Rihanna and Rihanna will stay with him, knowing that he's married. Like, Stephen Curry.
What's going on with the Lakers game? The Lakers game was on.
I think Aisha should be cool.
What's that?
The Lakers game that was on earlier. What became of that?
I did not keep track of those scores, but that doesn't mean that I can't find it real quick.
They're playing the Celtics.
I'm on it.
Let's see.
Okay.
Celtics 130, Lakers 108.
God damn!
Oh my God. Okay, y'all. What are y'all's thoughts on the Lakers? Are they gonna get it together in time, or what's up?
LeBron stinks.
Okay. This is hard. This is really hard for me to do. And I'm gonna tell you why. I am double biased. This is the weirdest thing ever. I'm so double biased. On one end, I'm LeBron biased, and on another end, I'm Carmelo Anthony and Russell Wilson biased. Russell Westbrook biased. So, my LeBron bias says, hell no, they ain't getting this shit together. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on in LA, but they ain't getting this shit together. These niggas is burnt. They're spent. They're done. Like, I expect them to be professionals. I don't get it. I don't know why they're not together. But right now, LeBron James is not even playing. He has back spasms. I've been trying to tell my co-host that we may be seeing a injury-prone era of LeBron James's career due to his age, and he may start falling. His availability may no longer be one of his biggest assets. And if that's the case, you can't count on Anthony Davis to lead your team. If Anthony Davis could have been counted on to lead a team, he'll still be in Nolans. And the New York Knicks would have had fucking Zion Williamson. That nigga gets a calorie every day. That's what...
Westbrook's stat line tonight?
Oh, God.
12, 4, and 6. 5 of 13 from the field, 1 of 4 from the free throw line.
Okay, give me the other ones. LeBron and all them.
Did LeBron play?
LeBron 23, 6, and 2.
Okay.
Yeah, he played tonight.
What was his?
LeBron shot the ball. 23, 6, and 2, 10 of 16 from the field.
What was
Not
Melo?
bad.
And Anthony Davis?
AD 31 and 6 in 36 minutes, 12 of 21.
Okay.
Melo 13 points on 3 of 6 shooting in 25 minutes.
Okay.
I mean, you pretty much got what you're supposed to get from your second and third. And
I'm gonna have to watch this game. Yeah.
Okay.
This is gonna be one of those games I'm gonna have
Not
to watch.
bad,
Because that's a
Not
20.
bad.
Looks like Jason Tatum showed out though, 37 and 11.
Who said what now?
Jason Tatum looks like he shut out 37 and 11.
God.
Man. I was looking at Schroeder, and I'm like, he played better with them than he did with the Lakers. I don't know. I don't know if maybe it's just me, but when I'm looking at people that used to play with the Lakers or play with other teams, and then they come to the Lakers, it's like I don't know, man. It's like they're not playing like they were on their previous team, whatever the case. I don't know if it's just the atmosphere
They
or
defer to LeBron.
I don't know what it is, but nobody's playing like. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just looking too. I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking at it too hard. Or
It's almost like they defer to LeBron's greatness. Because okay,
I know players take time to settle in the new teams, but Westbrook is not Westbrook. Melo's getting off. I can say that Melo's been getting off. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe the injuries with AD, maybe the injuries have been playing a part on him, and maybe LeBron's getting to that age now. He only's got 2 key moves in his bag he can pull out. You know what I'm saying?
The no-look three-pointer and what?
To me, it's gonna be the turnaround fade.
And the no-look three.
Right, he's gonna always do that little back you down and turn around fade like Kobe But that's pretty much all he resort to now. Or he'll hit you from a 3 down deep.
The no-look three-pointer. Where he looks to the fan and he does some slow motion shit and he brings it back in 3. I'm like, wait a minute. Right. Why y'all making him do that? Y'all don't see this coming?
Right. He's got the one tomahawk dunk now. He's not. It's like, all right, LeBron, you might be getting up there. Is he even still considered the best player in the league?
As of right now, I'm still going to give him the nod above Kevin Durant a little bit because they ain't looking no better in Brooklyn.
I thought 3rd.
I don't know what's going on with Brooklyn.
But you know what though? They're suffering from
I don't know.
They're suffering from a similar tale. So okay, let's stay with LA because Brooklyn's more my team, and we'll head there too. Because all these teams are frustrating me. Like I said, the person that's biased against LeBron James doesn't think they're gonna get this together. But I can also see I have a bias for Carmelo Anthony and Russell Wilson, because I want them both to win a championship. And I want Melo to win a championship more than anything else. So I'm kind of rooting for the Lakers to win this year. Russell Westbrook for the last couple of years has started his seasons really slow and really bad. Where to the point where it almost skewers the narrative for him for when he gets his shit together for the second half of the season. That nobody can see the good that he's doing anymore because he was so bad in the beginning of the year. This is now, I feel like, the third straight year where he's starting off the season horrendously. I'm not making this up. You guys seen it. You guys remember him last year in Washington and the year before that in Houston. He was horrible.
That's what I was gonna say. Like
he was horrible the first half.
I hate saying this because it.
Sorry, that's me.
Sorry, bro. I almost hate saying this. It's like a buzzkill to the conversation because it's our job as fans, as smart fans, that we want to analyze every game. But we do tend, just as NBA fans, to judge teams in November.
Well,
like the Lakers don't look great right now. The Nets don't look great. The Wizards are in first place. Like I'd be shocked if that trend continues the whole season.
But also, you know what I'm learning. But this started last year a little bit. I know what you're saying, that it's hard to judge every team in November because we're 15 games in, right? We're 15 games in, and we're wondering what's wrong with the Lakers, what's wrong with Brooklyn, what's wrong with the Nets. I'm sorry, what's wrong with the Knicks, right? We're trying to wonder where, like I said earlier, last year, right? Just to bring it, let's just show you an example of the Knicks. Currently, right now, the Knicks are sitting at 8-7. Last year, through 15 games, the Knicks were 7-8. This year, it's what's wrong with the fucking Knicks. Last year, it's oh shit, the Knicks are getting their shit together. You see how? So
the weight of expectation is a motherfucker.
So that's what it is. It does do a lot with expectation. We expect the Lakers to be better, but the Lakers just may not be a team that can start off hot off the block, which may be to their detriment because I don't think that you can start off slow anymore. While a lot of sports fans don't tune into basketball until December, until that Christmas game, and sometimes you even hear players talk about the season that it don't really start until Christmas. Well, if the season ain't started in your head mentally until Christmas, that means you ain't playing fully until Christmas yet. You're not mentally there. And I think that's what happens. But I don't think that they can afford that anymore because you have teams like Washington. I thought the Knicks were going to be one of these teams, but you have teams like Washington that are coming out and they're going to take every game seriously. And they're going to get that early jump on you. Now, they may fall from 1-4 because maybe Miami takes them over. But Miami's another team that's taking games seriously. Chicago's another team that's taking games seriously early. When are you going to finally get your shit together to jump them? Because they're not going to stop taking games seriously. They're trying to run through those. Sorry?
I was on here 2 weeks ago talking about the Raptors starting 7-4, trolling about Raptors-Warriors finals, anything's possible. And now we've lost 5 in a row, and I'm like, oh, okay, now this is kind of more what we expect.
Hey, Knicks started out 5-1. They've been 3-9. They've been 3-6 since.
That fool's gold works both ways. The failing expectations and the exceeding expectations. Water finds its level.
Mm-hmm. So for the Lakers, I do believe that they can. If I had to take everything out of it, if I had to try to be this completely neutral, take my hate for LeBron James out of it, take my love for Carmelo Anthony out of it as well, and the fact that I still believe that Carmelo Anthony should have been drafted ahead of LeBron James, and you still can't prove me wrong, unless you just use complete hindsight and talk about, oh, well, look at what happened with their career, but you can't tell me that LeBron James should have been drafted out of college, should have been drafted higher than Carmelo Anthony. I'm sorry. But
so I said, how many NCAA championships does LeBron have?
But how many freshmen lead their team to a national championship and win it, and also do it while averaging 20 and 10? No rookie led their team to a championship until we started getting into the one and done phase. Nobody had done that. How many times has Syracuse won a championship before Carmelo Anthony? How many have they won since? I'm just saying. Everybody want to talk about the system, but like Tom Brady and Bill and New England, you still got to execute in that system, and I ain't seen nobody else successful in that system since. Syracuse, that is. We're seeing success in the New England system. We're seeing a whole lot of fucking... Yo! The double back slightly, goddamn. I know I said this last week, but I'm actually starting to believe it now. Mac Jones can possibly win a championship in his first 4 years.
I think he could possibly win a championship this year.
Well, this year has been for the first 4 years. I think there's a possibility. I don't want to say it this year, but it wouldn't. Tom Brady won his rookie year. Shit, it wouldn't be outside the realm.
I got my short list. There's 9 NFL teams right now I think could win a Super Bowl, and the Pats are on it.
Yeah, Pats are definitely on it. You're goddamn right they're on there. And it hurts my heart. It really hurts me to say that shit. I'm like, damn. I'm to get another 10 years of this shit. And if he soaks up...
You're talking to a Bills fan, man. It hurts my heart more than it hurts yours.
I'm a Jets fan. I don't think it does. We created Tom Brady. We created this problem. If we would have just let Drew Bledsoe... You know what? Both those Bledsoes are bums. I'm sorry. Both of those Bledsoes are overrated. I can't stand Drew Bledsoe or Eric Bledsoe. Like, you realize Milwaukee wins a championship the moment they got rid of Eric Bledsoe as their starting point guard. Because Eric Bledsoe was a liability.
Eric Bledsoe, glad he's gone.
Oh my God. Oh man. But remember, the Jets created that problem of Tom Brady. We knocked out damn it, I'm about to call him Eric Bledsoe again. Drew Bledsoe. And he had to bring in was it Drew Bledsoe or Tommy Maddox? Wait, who did we knock out? Drew Bledsoe.
Bledsoe.
Wait, who the fuck knocked out Maddox for who? Who the fuck was that? Who did Maddox get knocked out to bring in? Was that
Big Ben?
Big Ben. There we go. I'm like, was that Baltimore too? No, that was that was Baltimore that did that to Pittsburgh, and that was the Jets that did that to New England. My two teams, right? But
a 12-year-old brain is spinning there trying to remember.
Oh man, yeah, where Maddox was at. But jeez, we're seeing this all over again. And I know when I said it last week, I didn't believe it. I was just going through the mental motions last week when I said it, I should say. Like, it just kind of came to me. Like, I was mentally, that shit was running. I was like, oh shit, he could win a championship in his first 3 to 4 years. This is going to be fucked up. And now, as they win 5 straight games, and if you're not an elite quarterback, Bill Belichick fucking has your number like the easy chick at the club. Mac Jones is looking like one of the most efficient dink and dunkers since cops started dunking donuts and coffee.
We got to be careful though. It was Jets, Panthers, Browns, Falcons. They beat the Chargers, which is a good team.
But I mean, they still got Buffalo coming. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're gonna find out soon. Because they still haven't played you guys twice yet, have they? They haven't played you guys once at all, have they?
No, we still got two games.
So you still got 2 games?
I think one's a Monday nighter.
So that's we're in week 11 now, so they're not playing in week 11. So between week 12 and week 18, you have that in 6 weeks, you have 2 matches with the New England Patriots.
We got them week 13 Monday night, and we got them week 15.
So yeah. Week 13 and week 15 is going to be watched heavily because young quarterback. We know how we all regard Josh Allen, but Josh Allen still falls underneath the category of young quarterback. And Bill Belichick has made young quarterbacks look silly all year. And one of the reasons he's been making, actually no, sorry, that's the wrong team. That's the wrong team. But I was gonna make a statement. It wouldn't have fit here.
As a Josh Allen stand, but he does not need any help making himself look silly. That dude will drive down 90 yards down the field and then take a 23-yard sack.
That is some Brett Favre shit right there.
He doesn't understand. It's not in his brain to throw the ball out of bounds.
Ooh, he's got to get that. He's got to get that learned because New England Patriots defense is for real. They're right now playing with a top 5 defense right now, if I'm not mistaken. Matt Jones is becoming the master of the dink and dunk. And a true master of it, because we saw I don't know if you guys watched the game last night, but the first time he tries to go downfield, intercepted. The very first time he tries to go downfield is intercepted. Doesn't go downfield again. Complete blowout, complete shutout. That defense is for real. That defense is for real. How did we get back to football? And I know we made a detour over to basketball. This is bonus material time, that's why.
You just brought up Matt Jones, and I'm passionate about it.
I know we were talking about the Lakers. I really think that the Lakers can get their continuity together. Russell Wilson has had horrendous first half of seasons these last 3 years. And then...
So was Russell Westbrook.
Yes, sorry, Russell Westbrook. But the second half of at least the last 2 seasons, Russell Westbrook has played to a Hall of Fame caliber. We saw it the second half again in Houston, and then we saw it again in Washington. So this team may be going right now as Russell Westbrook goes.
Is there a possibility that they could get Kevin Love at some point in the season at the deadline or whatever? He played with Westbrook in college. He's played with LeBron.
Why? For what?
I think he's a good fit.
Oh God. No. I mean, no. Why? No. I don't know. Cause I don't know. I really don't know what Kevin Love has left in the tank. He could not be given his all because of the current situation that he's in. But I don't know if I want Kevin. If I'm LeBron James and the Lakers team and I'm trying to win a championship, I don't know if I want Kevin Love. I don't know. I really don't know. What I do wonder though, is if this team is currently going as Russell Westbrook goes, that will mean then Russell Westbrook has to, he must go back to triple-double Russ. Because the teams that triple-double Russ plays on win 75% of the time when Russ gets a triple-double.
Triple-single Russ doesn't win that much.
Triple-single Russ don't even make it to a menu. So that may be the next thing I'm curious about, because as I watch this team, the other individuals are doing their part. LeBron James is doing his part. Carmelo Anthony is doing his part. Anthony Davis is doing his part. Dwight Howard, all those other guys, they're doing their part. Shit, when Andre Drummond comes in the game, he's doing his part. So if I'm really evaluating this, Russ may not be holding his end of the bargain, but they may still have time. But this is the West. And I'm sorry, this is the NBA this year. And the NBA this year is, you can't start slow. That's my biggest concern. I don't know if this is the year that you're allowed to start slow anymore. I think slow starts are a thing of the past. And if it takes them a while to get their shit together, the Lakers aren't gonna do anything if they have to go through the play-in gauntlet again.
I'm looking at the 14-2 Warriors without Draymond, without Clay, and without James Wiseman. Like, they're gonna get better.
I don't have enough words to talk. I don't even know if I have enough bonus time to talk about Stephen Curry, and we have unlimited bonus time.
They're 14-2, and they're going to get better.
Oh my! It is scary. It is scary what is happening in Golden State, because they look motivated again. Like, they weren't motivated last year. I don't care what nobody says. They weren't. Like, Steph wasn't motivated last year. He wasn't.
I think Steph knew it was an MVP opportunity season, not a championship season.
He was upset last year, but
he was more worried about. He was trying to average 30. Yeah. He wasn't trying to win.
But this year, the Golden State Warriors are looking like they are pissed off a little. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think getting Andre Iguodala back and a couple of these other pieces were going to do much. I thought they were reaching for memories past. Like, they were going for the good old days, for that good feeling that they used to have. You know, that's what I thought they were doing. I didn't think it was gonna pan out, but holy shit, smack my ass and call me Sally. Like, I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm just not paying attention, but Jordan Poole's averaging 17, and I don't think anybody's talking about it.
Well, you know, one guy in Golden State we gonna talk about here is Jordan Poole, because he was the guy on our watch list in the beginning of the season. Remember? We talked about this, SB. We talked about Poole because Stephen Curry pointed him out as the younger Splash brother. You know what I mean? Like he was the next and up.
We did talk about this.
We did. And we was like, you know what?
Because I was saying, imagine a better confidence boost you could ever get in your life than Steph Curry calling you a Splash brother. Mm-hmm. It's like John Lennon calling you a Beatle.
You know what I mean? So, and now so we've been keeping an eye on him. I've been keeping an eye on him. And we're going to keep keeping an eye on him because we said, well, if he's going to get this, let's see if he can live up to this praise that he's getting from Big Bro now. And 17 points a game is living up from somebody you don't expect 17 points a game from. I think if we got 12 points a game from him, we would have been more satisfactory. 13, maybe 14. You add that 17 on there, and you're like, shit, you're 3 away from 20. You're 1 3-pointer away from 20. That's literally what you are. Make one more 3-pointer a game. Get your average up to be better by one more 3-pointer. You're averaging 20 points a game. That's pretty fucking badass. And then you're going to get Klay Thompson back that's going to average 20. And you're going to get Wiseman back that can average 20. And you're going to get Draymond Green that can total 20 between points, assists, rebounds, and steals.
I don't know if Clay is going to come back as Clay, but even if Clay is Clay Corver, just a corner 3-point shooter,
but
without the defense, he's still a valuable part of that team.
But I don't. We just talked about average points here. Klay Thompson still put up whatever amount of points he put up with taking 3 dribbles. Listen. You don't got he fucked up his legs. If you ain't taking that many moves, I mean, hey, just move and shoot. Now we're gonna miss him on. We're gonna have to watch him. Really, what's gonna be for Klay? We're gonna watch him on the defensive end to see if he can still be that Iron Man on defense and still take the best defensive assignment. But again, now when you have Poole here again, now you can switch that assignment over to Poole. Now when you get now that you have Andre Iguodala back, you can get some of that assignment over to Andre Iguodala. It doesn't have to be all on Klay now. They actually got some viable options that they can use to relieve some of that pressure. And we see it. That defense is on a string. That defense is on a string like a goddamn dream catcher. And they're producing, but I didn't think it was gonna be this good. I'm gonna tell you this. I didn't think it was gonna start off this good. I didn't think the Lakers were gonna start off this bad. I didn't think the Nets were gonna look this bad. I didn't think the Knicks were gonna feel this bad. Like I didn't think Chicago was gonna be this. I didn't think Chicago was gonna be this good. I didn't think Kyle Lowry was gonna make that much of a difference in Miami. There's a lot of things I didn't think.
I watched Kyle Lowry for a decade, man. I knew that he was going to make a huge change on that team.
But
the most underrated player in the NBA.
See, I think he's one of the most overrated. See, I always call him one of the most overrated players in the NBA. I don't know.
I think he led the NBA in charges taken like 4 years in a row. Or something.
He probably, yeah, he did. He used to play in Denver, right? Was it Denver he used to play? He just never really.
Houston.
Was it Houston? Yeah, he never just really. I don't know why. He just never caught my eye. He never impresses me.
He's gonna have his jersey retired here. He's widely regarded as the greatest Raptor to ever put the jersey on.
Listen, he should have his jersey retired in Toronto. Like he went there, he toughed it out, he stuck it out, he grinded it out, and then he was part of a team that got him a chip.
He switched from 3 to 7 after his first couple of years. I'd retire him both.
But one of the major things about Kyle Lowry, he went to Miami, and I don't know if you guys know that Pat Riley has a body fat percentage requirement for his players. Kyle Lowry knew that going to Miami. So I wasn't sure if it was going to pan out, but Kyle Lowry, I feel like he looks leaner than he's ever looked in his career. Like, I don't know if it's just me, but I was watching that Miami and Washington game the other night. And Kyle Lowry looks as lean as I think he's ever. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be a problem. And I'm a little upset that I don't hear a lot more shit being talked from Miami Heat fans. I feel like they're being a little bit too timid right now. But shit's going to pick up.
I think he should have sat down in Pat's office day one and been like, I can lose 15 pounds or I can take some charges. You pick.
And Pat Riley was like, how about you lose 15 pounds and you still take those charges?
Yes, sir.
But also, it's going to be tough. I mean, like I said, you go to a team like Miami, you have guys like Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, and you say you have Pat Riley and also Eric Spoelstra and the kind of work ethic that they go. Like I said, being a Knicks fan, I'm fully aware of the kind of work ethic that it takes to be on a Pat Riley team. And I'm actually happy that the Knicks have a disciple of Pat Riley and Tom Thibodeau on, as the coach of their team to bring some of that work ethic back. For the Knicks right now, it just ain't quite panning out. But like all these teams, it's 15 games in. We're going to see exactly what change that they continue to make. There's possibly going to be some lineup changes. We have the trade deadline coming around. We're going to see what trades what trades get made. We're going to see if there's any free agents that get signed. We're going to see who gets called up from the G League. That's what two-way players get a contract. There's still a lot of maneuver. We have players coming back from injuries that are going to change how they are going to change the look at a couple of teams.
That's why the NBA is the best league in the world, man.
I love the NBA. Jeez, I love this game. I missed that commercial, and I love this game. I really, really do. I just love basketball, period. I caught myself watching the number 3 Kansas and take on Stony Brook. And I was like, Stony Brook. Why does that sound familiar? Like, oh shit. That's the school right down the street from me that got shot up. Duh.
That story took a dark turn.
It did. Sorry. But I was watching the. But I just love basketball. And
Why does Virginia Tech sound so familiar? Oh right.
But I was watching. I caught myself watching the college games already because they've already started. I am fully vested, especially with the new NIL rules. I'm probably more vested in college basketball this year than I've been in any year. I haven't really gotten a chance to watch a lot of college football yet, and I don't know why. and I've already started watching college basketball. I don't still think it's in me to watch any more college football. I don't know why. It's just rough. I can't watch these damn games.
My college football team has been ass the last couple of years, so
I have a real hard time watching college football games. I have a really hard time. It is difficult. It may be the hardest sport for me to watch. Outside of baseball. No, baseball is definitely the hardest. Baseball is the hardest sport for me to watch.
it's hard to watch if, like, it depends on the situation. Like,
well, if it's
Blue Jays,
well,
I can give, because I'm from here. We didn't make the playoffs for 23 years, and then we had a couple deep runs. It was the excitement was palpable in the city.
Mm.
But like regular season, average year, like nobody cares about baseball.
Yeah. I'm telling you, like, baseball games are just off me watch. I learned this for the fact, like, I can't stay awake for a baseball game unless I'm part of the production. I learned that now for a fact. it just doesn't happen. Like, I have to be moving around, I have to be back and forth, I have to be interacting. If you tell me I'm gonna sit there or sit around and just listen, I'd almost fall asleep calling a goddamn baseball game. Like, I done damn near. Oh shit. What? Who's on first? Oh damn, he's not there yet.
It's got to be the hardest job to do play-by-play because there's so much downtime. You got to come up with shit to talk about constantly.
It takes a certain gift of gab. It takes being able to do a podcast solely for like 3 hours kind of skills. But it's doable. It is doable because I've called a baseball game by myself, and I had to be.
You got that gift of gab.
Listen, you know, it's so bad too. I think it was my first baseball game I called by myself too. Was it my first? Yeah, I think my very first baseball game that I called for MILB team too. I called it for the Jupiter Hammerheads. I called by myself.
I thought you were gonna say it was the first game you've been to that you were play-by-play.
No, not the first game, but it was the first. Yeah, it was the first play-by-play job that I ever did. It was the first time I was calling a baseball game. First time I was doing play-by-play. Period. And it was for the Jupiter Hammerheads for the MILB, and I called that game by myself. It wasn't until the third game that I called for them that I finally got somebody to call games with me. And they were like, "Oh, which one do you want to do?" I'm like, "Just tell me which one makes you comfortable, and I'll do the other one." They were like, "Okay, that makes it easy." I was like, "I think."
What do you think is easier? I think play-by-play would be easier.
To be the regular play-by-play person is a little bit easier, depending on. Well, put it this way: everybody that I called with, they preferred to be the play-by-play person. They didn't want to be the color guy.
Because you can just talk about what's happening in front of you. You don't have to like tell anecdotes and stuff.
Yeah, and me, I had no problem being the color guy. Like I said, for the whole entire time I was there, I was basically waiting for who to get on first. Like, you know what I mean? But like I said, but it's not as hard as it really as it makes it seem, because you have the game going on and you have your commercial reads, you have recaps that you can always do. Like, it really isn't that. It's not that hard. It's difficult, but it's not that hard. Like anything else, it's a rhythm and it's a pace. And once you get that rhythm and that pace, it's just another thing. Basketball games.
I feel like I would just tell the same joke too many times. People would get sick of the same joke. They'd be like, he hit that ball in Jupiter, and I think it might have landed on Jupiter too.
You know what? That's one that I didn't even get a chance to use. Basketball games are a little bit tougher because it's non-stop action. With baseball and football, you have time to look at your sheet and actually get the number of the player, get the name of the player, you're able to find the player. Basketball goes a little bit faster. So with basketball, it's a little less cold. I don't even know how to explain basketball. It's more nonstop. It's more nonstop. It's a different formula for basketball. It's a completely different formula. With football and baseball, you can get a little bit more personal because it slows down and you can highlight players a little bit better. Basketball is very fast moving.
I feel like if I was a color guy, like, not to out myself, but like I have a hard time understanding what's going on in basketball, like defensive sets and stuff. I could break down a football game or a hockey game fairly easily, but basketball has so many moving parts to me that maybe just because I never played the game at any decent level, that I don't understand the underlying things that are going on.
Understood. Yeah, and with all those sports, that really helps. That was my problem with baseball when I was calling the baseball games, is that I've been so out of touch with baseball for so long that I almost had to relearn baseball lingo in a sense to do those broadcasts. Like I had to really, but it's still fun though, because what I end up doing for preparation, you turn on the game of your favorite team and you just you put it on mute and you start calling the games. And it gets you back into the swing of things, or you start really paying attention to how somebody else has been. Like I said, I've listened to Michael Kay and Ryan Ruocco probably more than anybody when it came to baseball.
I did that with wrestling when I was a kid. I'd mute the TV and pretend to call the matches.
Listen, I still.
And then when guys didn't know the name of the move on TV, I'd get so mad. Like, come on, that's a Shining Wizard, JR, not an Enziguri.
Oh man, yeah, cause they used to mess up. Like they used to really mess up a lot of. I didn't say they had a lot of moves back then, but they didn't have a lot of names for them. Or they weren't real creative with them. They did a lot of they had a lot of generic like calls for wrestling moves back then.
Michael Cole used to be awful.
They all get better. They all get better. I like what they do with the new broadcast team now, and how they've brought.
Have you seen Pat McAfee on Smackdown?
I have been seeing Pat McAfee on Smackdown.
He's incredible at that, man. He's doing a fantastic job.
He is. He really is. And they've tried a bunch of commentators. I remember they tried the old voice of some dude that used to be the voice of the UFC. They tried him at one point in time. He didn't last more than like 3 weeks. But I like what they do when they take former wrestlers that they had on their wrestling roster and they move them into other roles like commentary and stuff like that, because it lets me know that they were paying attention that, hey, while I got this individual as a wrestler, I recognize that you have other skills that we can utilize in this business, or we can keep utilizing to keep you employed here. Like that guy Corey Graves, I think is one of them. And also, Corey Graves went a long way to also help change the look of how their commentators were, because he's their first commentator to be that tatted out ever.
You can even see, I don't know if you watch AEW, but Jericho is transitioning a little bit. He does a bit of commentary while he's still active.
Jericho has always done commentating when he's been active. That's because Jericho is the greatest wrestler. Is damn near really one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. He is the Ayatollah of rock and roller. It was
more during like beginning of the pandemic. Like I think JR, they didn't want to bring JR around because he's an old guy. They didn't want to get him sick. Yeah. They had a limited crew. I think Jericho was doing like all the shows.
Yeah, no, Jericho was super talented. Oh my God. When you talk about talented wrestlers and everything that it encompasses, Chris Jericho really may be one of the most talented wrestling entertainers to step foot in a ring. And one of the crazy things,
contemplating whether or not he's the GOAT recently.
He's I don't want to call him the GOAT, but he is really. And the thing about it, he's different. He really is different because he's one of those guys that spanned outside of wrestling. He really is a rock star. So a lot of individuals, when they have a time frame when they are not wrestling, it's usually because like, oh, they find like a television deal, or they're making a movie or something like that, or sometimes they're just injured and need time off, right? And they play in an injury into their role. Well, I knew for a fact that anytime they played an injury into Chris Jericho's role was because it was time for him to go on tour. Because this guy, I don't know if you guys, you guys heard me. It was time for him to go on tour because Chris Jericho was literally on tour the same time he was wrestling. So while he was traveling, supposed to be traveling the 360 days out of the year for wrestling, he was also taking the time out to go do basically the same thing. For what's his band name? The ZZ Tops?
Fozzy.
Fozzy Tops. There we go.
Just Fozzy.
Oh, just Fozzy? Oh, shit. But yeah, and that.
I've heard him tell the story from when he was a kid. His parents asked him, "What does he want to be when he grows up?" And he's like, "I want to be a rock star and a wrestler." And he's like, "They encouraged me, but they said maybe just pick one." And I did both.
No, yeah, it is crazy. Like he is like mic skills, wrestling skills, and then I just remember every time he came back, he always found a way to. A majority of times when he came back, he found a way to redo his persona and always found a way to connect with the crowd, whether he was a face or a heel. Like he is one of the. I think I'm gonna call him one of the underappreciated talents of wrestling. Because he doesn't get
that list.
Yeah,
the list was something stupid that started at nothing and it became so incredibly over.
Exactly, like you just made the list. I'm like, oh my god, like, like I said, he finds ways.
He would hold up a pen and prepare to click the pen, and the crowd would go insane. And then when he clicked the pen, they pop. Who else could do that?
The Y2J thing, like, oh my goodness, like so. And then now he has the Walking Dead like shit going on. What's that dude's name from Walking Dead that he stole his look? He's Benny from. He used to be Denny from what's that hospital? Well, from Grey's Anatomy. He died when like died like in the first season. Made a quick stint. But everywhere
I'm not sure, bro. I missed that.
But there's a guy in Walking Dead. He's the guy with the bat with Lucille. Like Chris Jericho took that image, ran with that, made that successful. Had the Y2J. Like I said, he had the list. He was the Lionheart.
To the bubbly.
Yeah, he had the lion tape. Oh my god, the variations of moves. And then also remember, when he made his WWE debut, he beat The Rock and Stone Cold in the same night. That I can't remember. I'm gonna tell you this. I wasn't a Chris Jericho fan then. That shit pissed me off. But made me pay attention to him. I was so mad when they did that shit. I was like, there's no way they make him come in and do this shit. But he held this.
One of my favorite stories I've heard him tell. It's from that pay-per-view. It was when they unified the belts like you talked about. It was Rock, Jericho, and Austin Angle in like a tournament.
Yeah.
And Jericho found out that day he was going to win. Because Vince and Undertaker were standing next to him at catering. And Vince goes to Undertaker, "You know how this business is going to shit? Because we're putting the belt on Jericho." And they laughed and walked away, and Jericho was like, "Were you serious? Am I actually winning the belt today?"
That's funny. That's stories I like to hear because even as a ring announcer, right, you get to see it in the working where people don't know, or sometimes like they may know their match, but they don't know if they're gonna win their match or not, and. Me personally, as a ring announcer, even though I feel like I should sometimes, in case I'm not paying attention, I already know, but I'm always paying attention, or I always want to or force me to pay attention, I hate to know the results of matches. Even though I'm working the event, I don't want to know the results of matches. And I get a lot of talent that come to me and be like, "Hey, do you know what I'm fighting? Do you know if I win that match?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know." Like, I'm trying to be as surprised as the audience. Because in my eyes, I'm like, the audience sometimes watches me, and I want my reaction to be genuine or to match their reaction. Because there's a lot of times when I'm watching the match, and because of the fact that I don't know who's going to win, I may be doing something, right? Or I'm on another side of the room, and I see a finisher get hit, and I'm running to the mic because I don't know if that person's supposed to win, or I don't know if that's the end of the match. And they see me running, and they're like, oh shit. I'm like, oh no, it's only 2. That's actually one of my favorite things to do, is to run towards the mic on a 2 count and watch the audience as they see me. They're like, oh shit, I think this is it. And they're like, nope, we all were fooled. But fellas?
Speaking of it, it always bothered me when I first noticed it that when near falls, sometimes you can see the wrestler that's getting pinned look at the referee, so you know it's going to be a near fall.
But you know though, that's kind of that yeah. That's actually like one of the number one clear giveaways that they're going to kick out, is the fact that you see them watching the referee for that 3rd count. But I've also gotten used to it. Like, you know what? In my head, the way I play it off now is that I know I'm kicking out. I'm just trying to get a quick breather, so I need to watch the ref. So that's how I started translating in my head, so that I can accept it better, so I can accept it again. But I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly the move.
Do you have a favorite match ever?
Do I have a favorite match ever? See, I don't know if I have a good enough memory to have a favorite match ever, to be honest with you. Like, that may be my most honest answer. Because, damn. I'm trying to think what matches...
Was there a match that you saw at some point, whether you're a kid, that made you a wrestling fan?
No. There wasn't a match that stuck out to me as a kid that made me a wrestling fan. I just became a wrestling fan. One of the early matches, I mean, there's so many early matches. Like Hulk Hogan against Andre the Giant was a big one. My favorite one of my favorite early wrestlers was Macho Man Savage. So like his early matches with Hulk Hogan as well. Like those matches stuck out to me.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You're too young. You're too young to like, see those.
Warrior.
Speaking of Ultimate Warrior, it's an Ultimate Warrior Hulk Hogan match. Like that one, I remember sticks out to me.
See, mine was Rock Austin. I was 9 years old. Rock Austin at WrestleMania 17.
He's Sergeant Slaughter.
So it may have been like, I think my first memory may be WrestleMania 3. Maybe the body slam of Hogan and Andre. But I said there's so many that wrestling has done. Like the Shawn Michaels and Bret the Hitman Hart match. Like, holy shit! Super Junior Fly Snuka going off the top rope of the cage. His matches with Roddy Piper. Undertaker. Like, yeah, I've just always been captivated with it. I think one of my to really talk about a match that maybe one of my favorite matches. It's actually a more recent match. And it's Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins. That's one of my favorite matches. But that's also because because Randy Orton's also one of my favorite wrestlers still to this day.
Was that the WrestleMania one?
I can't I can't remember what match.
I remember the finish was like a curb stomp that he jumped up and RKO'd him out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm remembering from that. It's like he popped him up in the air, and I was like, holy shit. Like he popped in the air. He popped in the air like somebody was getting a boost, like a cheerleader getting a boost, and then he caught him with the arcade, and I was like, fucking Randy Orton, boy. I'm just mad Randy Orton didn't get his voice earlier in his career. He could have been so much better if he had learned how to work had worked his mic skills earlier.
Did you see that video from a couple weeks ago? We saved a kid from getting trampled at an event.
Yes, I did. Yeah, because some kid was getting squished up against the guardrail, and he came in there and he got that kid out. I did see that.
I think it was like the day after the Shabbos concert.
Yeah. Randy Orton is one of my favorite wrestlers. He's another one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Like I said, Randy Macho Man Savage is one of them. Stone Cold, The Rock. They're two more of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
No love for Cena?
No love for Cena. John Cena. Okay, I'm gonna take it back. I liked John Cena in his early U.S. Championship run days.
Rapper Cena?
Yes. I want to say those early days, like right around his first early matches with JBL and Big Show. Like I didn't have an Undertaker. I didn't have a problem with him so much then. It just warned me after a while. I was like, ugh.
I used to love him as a 11, 12-year-old white Eminem fan from Canada. Seeing the dude rap on his way to the ring, I'm like, this dude's awesome.
I definitely saw the role that he played. He ended up becoming the modern era Hulk Hogan, in a sense. And it took me a while to realize that, until I noticed how many different bright ass colors he kept on coming out with. And I realized, shit, he's the modern
Rock talking about him. He's like, the only thing you've changed your career is you went from a purple shirt to a bright green shirt to a baby blue shirt.
Yeah. So that's when I ended up realizing, like, yeah, and the fact that he was never gonna take the heel change, the heel turn or whatever. That he
kind of did, like, in a subtle way, like those WrestleManias against Rock, like they were kind of were playing both sides of it.
Yeah, still a baby face. Yeah, it's one of those things, like when you fight when a legend comes back to fight you. Especially if you're a good guy, depending on what they're like, sometimes there is no good or bad guy. It's just two legends having a fight. Like when The Rock and Hulk Hogan fought, it was just two legends having a fight. At that point in time, there was because that wasn't even Hollywood Hulk Hogan. That was just Hulk Hogan. That was real American Hulk Hogan, and you can't bet against real American.
That was credit to Rock on the fly. Like, he was supposed to be the baby face, and the crowd started going nuts for Hogan, so he worked heel.
Yeah. Rock is another one of them. Like I said, that's the reason why I brought The Rock up. Rock is another one of those great performers. You can see Rock's influence on Roman Reigns' new character. And how Roman Reigns, let's put it this way. Roman Reigns' cadence, I guess, may be the easiest thing to say. You can see The Rock's influence on Roman Reigns when you hear how he talks in his cadence. He has completely.
I think he's the perfect match of The Rock and Paul Heyman's mastermind wrestling brains working together.
Yeah.
Like, if The Rock and Paul Heyman had a baby, it'd be Roman Reigns.
Yeah, so you can see Rock's. I feel like recently you can see Rock's influence on, and if it's not The Rock's influence, then they should have given Roman Reigns a mic a whole lot sooner, and let him get his way. But I feel that if they didn't give him the mic sooner, it's because he just didn't have it yet, and I feel like he has it now, and I feel that The Rock has been an influence on it. And you know what, fellas, I'm just looking at this time and I'm realizing I think we've done enough bonus material for today. Like, it's 12:30 at night. And I really do appreciate and love the fact that you guys have decided to stay with me this late. But I'm gonna go. I'm getting some nasty looks, and I think it's time for me to turn those nasty looks into good looks. Fellas, the goods, SB, again, love you guys. I appreciate you. I'm popping on the podcast. As you guys already know, everybody else will be back Monday, 8:07 p.m. Don't worry, my schedule is back to normal. I had a crazy week and a half. That's the reason I was all over the place for a week and a half. Everything's back to normal. We'll be good again, guys. I'll catch you next week. You guys be safe over the weekend. If for any reason I don't hear from you guys next week, you have a happy Thanksgiving and enjoy your holiday.
Speaking of good looks, good looking out for having me. Peace, brother. Have a good night.
Thank you, as always. And we out here. Yo, raise that curtain for me so that I can get out the camera. Curtain call. Give my goddamn curtain call.